everyone, and how are you doing today? I hope everybody is having a super fantastic, fabulous day today. If you're new to my channel, my name is Gabe, and this is Gabe Loves Makeup, and I'm so glad to have you here. So pull up a chair, grab you a glass of wine, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, you know, whatever it may be, maybe even a little snack, because today we're going to be testing something that has went viral on TikTok, and that is the new Givenchy. Well, actually, it's not really new. It's been around for a little while, but this is the Givenchy Prisme Libre 4-in-1 Harmony Radiance Loose Powder. So if you are interested to see if this is going to work on a 50-year-old skin and how it's going to brighten, is it going to make us look different? Are we going to look 50 years younger? Then, you know, then stick around and let's find out about this hack together. Really psyched out about this one. So this is a little bit of a TikTok trend that has went around that I've heard about. I've heard that this powder went viral. So if you guys are not familiar with these powders, Givenchy has a line that has like these. They're almost like, it's kind of like a multi-effect powder. So there's like 4 cubicles in it. Basically, as you can see, there's like 4 different cubes in the pan. Here, let me open it up a little bit so you guys can see it. It's got a little puff in the inside of it. But you guys can see it. There's 4 different shades. You know, one is a little bit more yellow, one's a little bit more pink, and one is a little bit more of a lightning powder. So they're more made to brighten and kind of give the skin radiance. They also have these in blushes. If you want to check out my girlfriend, Glam Girl Chelsea, she loves the blushes. She rants and raves about how wonderful they are. I will leave a link down below in my description box to her channel if you want to check it out, because she loves them. She thinks they're fabulous. I don't remember if she's used the powder or not. I think she has, but I'm not really sure. But this is my first time using the powder. So again, this is kind of like what the packaging looks like. I kind of just dove right into it. This is what the packaging looks like. It's very beautiful. It has a Givenchy. If you ever tried a Givenchy before, it is a very beautiful bougie line. It's a very similar to Dior, Chanel, YSL, Armani, a lot of those different brands. They do carry the full line in Neiman Marcus. And my Neiman Marcus, they have the full brand there. They have a whole, you know, tester unit with all of the products in it. In Sephora, in my Sephora, they only have exclusive products. They don't have everything. But you probably can find most of the brand, because the brand has a lot more than just what Sephora carries. But this is what everybody is ranting and raving about. So I wanted to check it out. So I just want to let you guys know I've done foundation. I've got concealer on. I've done some bronzer. I have not done no powder whatsoever. The bronzer is the only thing that I did. I did a little bit of my Glow Wish. I did a little bit of that, and we did some stuff on the eyes. I did a little something, something on the eyes. Just a little something, something. It's cute, though. I'm liking it. It's kind of cute, but I'm liking it. So, anyway, so let's just dive in. So, when you open it up, it actually has a little thing in the inside of it. So we're gonna rip it off. I'm gonna kind of go in here and try to. It's a little difficult to get off, so gotta be careful, because it's got a shifter in the inside of it. So you can see it's got a shifter. It looks like there's different colors, so I'm gonna shake a little bit out of each one of them. We're gonna tap it a little bit on each side and see what comes out. And I'm going to take a little bit of these, and we're going to just take them and kind of mix them. If you guys can see, there's a little bit of yellow, a little white, a little pink, a little bit of everything in it. You can do them separately if you want to, but I think I'm just going to mix them together, because we're just, I mean, hey, if I'm going to dive in, I'm just going to dive in. I don't play that game. So it comes with a little Givenchy puff. I'm not going to use it, but I am going to use my little Tati Blendful, because I think the trend is to actually do it with the puff. So I'm going to do on one side, I'm going to do with a puff, and then on the other side, I'm actually going to do it with a brush. So let's start with the puff first. So I'm going to take a little bit of my cap here, and we're going to mix it all together. By the way, this powder is $58. So it comes 58 doll hairs, and you get 0.42 ounce in a powder in it. So I'm getting it really coated. So we're going to really go in here, and I'm going to really take it, and we're going to really put it under, and we're going to bake more on this side. So we're going to do a little bit more of a baking method with it, just to pat it on, because it's supposed to really lift the skin. And then I'm going to take a little bit through here, a little bit more through here. to really brighten. If you guys are new to my channel, the only thing I have that's brightening like this is my Jacqueline palette. I use the Jacqueline brightening palette a lot. I really love it. It's a really beautiful palette, so I really do enjoy it. So I'm going to take a little bit up through here. And we're just going to kind of let this just set for just a little bit. Now, normally I don't bake or I do anything like that. And with this side, we're going to do one with the brush just to see how it looks a little bit more, see if it looks a little bit more natural. I'm very dry and I'm 50 years old. So normally I do not do anything powder-wise underneath my eyes, except for the Jacqueline palette sometimes. And I just do a little bit of it because it can get a little drying. But, you know, we're going to try it out today and see what happens. I'm going to take a little bit more here, just to kind of put it in the center a little bit and down the nose a little. It does look really pretty. So what are you guys thinking so far? It's looking pretty nice so far. BK Beauty 104 brush, just a very fluffy brush. I'm going to take it in because I don't really think we need to let it sit on that long. Just take it and kind of blend it down a little bit. And let's just see what she looks like up against the other side. Wow. Okay. It did brighten. What do you, wow. Okay. Miss Givenchy. All right. And I just did bronzer. I haven't done blush or anything yet because I didn't want to do any more powder. I wanted to see what this look like. But wow, it does look really pretty. It does leave a little bit of more of a radiance because I had a little bit of a radiant concealer on because I wasn't sure if the powder was going to be drying or not, and I didn't want it to be. Looking up close, it is, I mean, it's blurring, but it's definitely got a powder look to it. So it's definitely not like, it's like this powder that's not going to give you that. It's blurring for sure, and it's giving you that kind of lifted look, but up close, it still looks like a powder. Like, you know, when you put powder in your eyes, if they're dry, they look like that. So, but it looks a little bit more softer than most powders do, because most of the time they don't look that great on me. Sometimes they look really dry. So, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's a powder, but it definitely lifts it. It definitely gives you a lift. It definitely looks really, really smooth and pretty. So before we go over to this side though, I want to do a little bit right through here. I just want to see if it brightens up that area. So I'm going to take a little bit more. We're going to mix a little bit more together here. And we're going to take our little Blendiful. I missed my blend. I mean, thank God I bought a bunch of the Blendifuls before Tati decided to close up shop because I love this Blendiful. Now this is the baby one. But I have the big one too, but I was giving them a break, but I thought I would pull out the baby. But yeah, let's just see what happens when we add a little bit. Now I've got all of them mixed together now. Now I'm sure if you just went in with just like one or, you know, one shade and not like all of them, it probably would be a little different. And you know, sometimes I like a powder. I like a really pretty powder. But just lightly set over that just a little bit. I don't want to set over it too much. Well, it definitely mats it out, but it definitely looks pretty smooth. Let me just turn the light down just a minute and see. Yeah, I mean, it's got a little bit of a glow, but it's still mattifying. So it's not like this illuminating brighter type powder as far as if you wanted to do this powder this heavy and do more of like a really heavy baking method. Because I wanted to do it heavier because that's kind of like the way the trend kind of goes. But now we're going to go over this side and do it much more lighter and much more softer and see how it does on this side. So I'm going to take my Rephr 19 brush. I'm going to take a little bit and we're going to tap a little bit into the powder. And I got like a little swirl. I'm going to swirl a little bit of it together. I'm going to tap off a little bit of the excess because she's powdery, that's for sure. All right, so now we're going to go, I'm going to make sure I don't have anything underneath my eyes. Now, this does look really smooth and tight. I will tell you, it does look really smooth and like very tight like, but it's definitely up close. It looks drier, but now let's go over here and see what this one does. So we're going to take a little bit and we're going to just lightly just tap a little bit up underneath our eye area. Not much, just a little bit and a little bit up in here. Oh, that's pretty. Now that, oh, I really like that. That's nice. Ooh, that's pretty. I like this side bit. I mean, and it does look a little bit more lifted, I think. But I mean, but typically, I think if I was to powder underneath my eyes, which again, I don't normally do very much, but unless I'm doing something super glamorous or something that's very long wearing, then that was when I would actually do it, but because normally I don't like the way it makes my under eyes look, especially if I'm doing pictures and stuff, it's different, or just something on here, it's different, but now in real life, it just really makes me look too dry. But I mean, it's just really pretty, it's a pretty powder. This is pretty. What do you guys think? I mean, again, this one, because we put on so much, it definitely brightened up a lot more on this side, I think. Looking up close, both sides look very similar, almost similar now. This one just looked, again, a little bit more fuller coverage, where this one's not. So let me take just a little bit more because we want to even them out a little bit more. So I'm going to take a little bit more here. Again, I would never do this normally. I would never put this much powder on, but we're just doing this for the fun of it. We're trying it out and seeing what we think of it. And I did a little bit of a darker foundation and stuff too, because I wanted to see how much it brightens, because it's very powdery. If you do it in a cap, it will go everywhere if you're not careful. So just be careful with that. But this is what it looks like. Isn't that pretty? It's pretty. It's pretty. I mean, it definitely looks, in my mirror and from the side, it definitely looks more drier, definitely. But let me go off camera and do some blush and a little bit of highlighter, and let me come back and then let's see what it looks like. Blush on, and we put a little bit of my Powerpuff Girls. This is in Fighting Crime. I did a little bit of this one. It's my favorite blushes. And I did a little bit of the Natasha highlighter. I did a little bit of that. So what do you guys think? I love it because, you know, I love me some blush. We have to put some blush on. And I haven't put any powder. I haven't sprayed it yet. So I was waiting to spray it with you guys because I wanted you guys to see it with the spray. But this is what it looks like before we spray. So I will say it's very, looking in the monitor and on HD, it looks really beautiful. It looks very, very smooth on camera. When you actually look at it in real life though, it's very powdered. So it's very matte looking. It looks very powdered. So let's do it up a little bit with the little glass spray by Maybelline. I'm going to do a little bit of that. This is one of my favorite setting sprays, especially if I want a little radiance. So I just want to take away some of this powder texture. So we're going to take it and spray it a little bit. I love this spray. It's just, the spray is everything. It really is a good spray. And for like, you know, $10 or so, it's really, really beautiful. Now I'm going to take my sponge and we're just going to go over it and just kind of really, especially around my eye area where it got a little dry. And we're just going to take it and press it into the skin and put it all in together. Okay, so what do you guys think? Now, since I sprayed it, it really helped up underneath my eyes. It really smoothed that out a lot. Definitely made the texture and everything look much, much more smoother. It looks much more radiant. Everything is melted in together. So I would definitely recommend this powder, guys. I think this powder is really cool. It's a good, especially if you like a very matte powder, or like if you like a matte with a little bit of like a glow undertone to it. I don't know if the shades of the different, like the little bit of the pink with a little bit of the white with a little bit of the yellow, if that really, really makes a difference. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the meteorites. It's just in more of a loose form. But it does leave a really beautiful mattified look on the skin, especially if you're normal combination or if you're oily. This may be a powder you may really want to look into. And you're looking for something kind of brightening, but you want something that's going to be kind of fresh looking and not like your typical translucent powder. This may be for you. You may really enjoy it. If you're dry, I mean, I would definitely recommend it. I mean, you could use it if you like a little bit of a little matte to your powder, or you like a little powder after you do it if you don't like it to be too dewy. You can definitely do a radiant mist spray like this, or just a setting spray in general. Any of those probably would work really, really well. You know, but it definitely helped. It took away a lot of the texture. Now it looks really beautiful. It probably would wear all day long now. Everything would look really, really super nice. I have to say, guys, this is a really cool product. You know, again, I've seen it. It's been around for a while. I mean, it wasn't anything that really jumped at me. I've always seen it. I've always thought it would look, you know, it's a beautiful, it looks really pretty. It's Givenchy. I mean, usually most of their products are very nice. They're very good. Sometimes they're just a little overpriced. I mean, this is $58 for powder. I mean, if you want a brightening powder, I mean, they do have brightening powders that you don't have to spend this much money on. You know, but, I can see why this has gone viral. I can see why people are really kind of impressed with it. It would be funny to see if Meteorites ever went viral or something, because it's kind of very similar. And Guerlain is owned by Dior, or Louis Vuitton, who owns Dior, and they also own Givenchy. So they're all like in the same house together. So they have some products that are a little similar, but you know, but I do really enjoy it. It is really pretty. I am kind of glad to have this in my collection. I do love my Jacqueline brightening powder. So this will be kind of nice to do something, to have something a little bit different if I want to do a little bit more of a glamorous look and I want to do more powder, or I want to do a little matte. I mean, I know that I love dewy looks all the time, but I do like a matte every now and then. I do like a really pretty matte, or to make it look really soft, or I'll do something like this and kind of spray it really well, and then it kind of makes it look more radiant, but the powder does help set everything. I have to say, I do really enjoy this side better than I do this side, even though I did it lightly. I do have to say that baking with it looks a little better, I think, than when you just lightly dust it over it. I mean, it will give you some effect, but I don't think you're going to get the same effect it would if you baked with it, or especially if you do it with more of a puff. I would definitely use one. You don't want to do it with just a little, you don't want to do it with like, you can do it with the damp sponge if you wanted to, but I think with the puff, it definitely makes a big difference. Especially if you're a little oily or normal combination, I think definitely with the puff is better. If you're a little dry and you kind of want to spray it with a little bit of the spray and set it that way with the sponge, it probably would work out and make it a little bit more radiant if you wanted to do it a little bit more. But I will say, the more the side with the more, I think it looks a little bit more snatched, like it looks a little bit more lifted. It does give that more of a lifted look than if you did it with just a little bit of a brush just to swirl it around, or just to give it a little bit of a set. I think you're going to see more with it as like a baking product. So if you don't like to bake, or you don't like to do heavy powder, that may not be for you. But if you do like to bake, or if you do like a little bit of a brightening and you do want a bright effect, I mean, after I sprayed it, it doesn't look dry underneath at all now. Once I sprayed it, it looks great. Before I sprayed it, it did look more dry. But if I think if you have a really good spray, and again, this spray is really good. It's got moisturizers in it, so it has a little bit more of a slip to it. Whereas the Charlotte Tilbury may not have as much, like her setting spray, or the Maybelline Infallible that I love. I love that one, or I'm sorry, the L'Oreal Infallible that I love so much. I love that one too. But this one is, I get off of Amazon, and I get them for like, I think they're like, you get 2 for 20 or 2 for 10 or something like that. You can get them a lot cheaper on Amazon sometimes. But they do sell these in CVS, Walmart, Target. They do carry it there. I think it's like $14.99 or maybe $12 or something. But it is really good spray. It doesn't have much of a smell or anything, but it will leave a little bit, definitely more of a radiant look. So it's definitely more of a glass skin kind of product. So again, if you don't like a spray that looks dewy, then you may not. I also love the Anastasia Dewy Spray. That is a really good one too. Have you picked this powder up? Do you have this powder? Do you love this powder? I mean, have you used it for a long time? I mean, let me know your thoughts down below on it. Have you tried the blushes? I mean, please let me know, because I love hearing what you guys have to say, and you know, everything about it. I mean, is this something you would even bother buying? I mean, at $58 for, you know, a powder that's going to give you like a little correction or a little brightening or whatever, is this something you would buy? So anyway, let me know down below. And with that said, we are done, guys. You know, please be safe, be strong, be proud, stand tall, love yourself. Remember to love someone today. Make sure you tell somebody that you love them. Also, be kind to someone. A little kindness can go off a long way these days. And with the famous words of Miss Marilyn Monroe herself, with my little, in the background here, and my little picture, you know, a smile is the best makeup any girl can wear. So just keep that in mind, you know, because makeup does put a smile on anyone's face, and not just girls, but, you know, us boys like some makeup too. So anyway, just throwing that in there. We'll just girls slash guys in there. We'll throw a little slash in there, but we'll update it to 2022. But anyway, you guys take care, and we will see you again in the next episode. Peace out. Bye.